Good morning, Central Assembly. We are so privileged to be able to share with you today. We wish we could have been there in person, but we are happy to be with you through video today. We are Richard, Tori, and you're going to hear from our daughter later, Carice Brooks, and we are missionaries to Belgium. Now, we wanted to have this opportunity to take you on a trip to Belgium with us. So get your seatbelts fastened. We're flying into Brussels Airport. Now, when you arrive in Brussels Airport, you're going to see this sign where it says, "Welcome to the heart of Europe." You step off the plane and enter the busy Zaventem Brussels Airport. You walk out into the rainy Zaventem weather and you get on the train. As you're on the train, you're looking at all the sights around you. You're seeing the beautiful city of Brussels coming up. As you arrive in the station, you get off the train and walk outside into the market. You see beautiful buildings all around you, government facilities, marking the fact that this is where all of Europe's world powers meet, the center of the EU. You continue walking outside and you begin to smell something: chocolate, waffles, Belgian fries. All of these smells and sights are coming into your view. And as you continue to walk, you see a towering cathedral. You decide to walk up to the cathedral, and as you enter in, you look up and you see beautiful artwork all around, depicting stories from the Bible and from parts of church history. And as you continue to look around, you look down and you see in front of you that the church is mostly empty. There's one man at the front, and it's not the pastor. He's a museum worker ready to give you a tour of history and not an encounter with the God who saves. That is the reality of Europe. Most churches have been transitioned into a museum or a bar or a club or just a tourist destination in general. Most churches do not have pastors or congregations that meet on a regular basis. Within the Flemish Pentecostal movement, which is the northern Belgian area, they have roughly 40 churches, all with less than 15 people in each. And most churches have no pastor. Belgium as a country has 1.5% of its population that claims a personal relationship with Jesus. It is so hard to find other Christians, and it is so hard for so many people to hear the gospel, because most of us have heard the gospel from family, friends, co-workers, or even friends of friends. And in Belgium, because there are so few people have the opportunity to hear the gospel message, there are villages with no access to the gospel. And we feel burdened for this country to revitalize these churches and to bring some point of access to the gospel in every city in northern Belgium. This is Carice. She is our daughter. And how old are you?
5.
5 years old. That's right. When we went to Belgium, you went to school, right? Did you like going to school? Yeah. What about your teacher? Did you like your teacher?
Yep.
What do you call a teacher in Dutch?
Yep.
Yeah, a juf. And so she loved her teacher, but there was multiple times where we went to the store. And what would you want to get whenever we would go to the store?
Flour and chocolate.
Yeah.
And make cards.
Yeah, she wanted to show love to her teacher by getting chocolate, making cards, getting flowers. And do you remember the time when she got sick?
Yeah.
Were you sad when she was sick?
Yeah.
That night, she had asked us if we could pray for her youth. And so that night we prayed for her. Do you remember that? But then do you remember at the end of the year, we got to talk with your teacher, your youth, before we left. And you gave her a big hug, right? Do you remember giving her a big hug? And she told us, "I have not felt the kind of love that your family has shown me from a student before." This was all because of our daughter. God was able to use a 3.5, 4.5-year-old to be able to share his love with someone who hadn't felt it before. So no matter how old or how young you are, God can use you to bring his message of love to the people around you.
Over the last 2 years, I've had the opportunity to work with anti-human trafficking work in the city of Antwerp. That's the home of the largest red light district in the entire country. And some of these people who we've served, they have been coming to us for years. And last year, I got to witness several people come to Jesus. You see, many of these men and women, they've been sold a lie. They have been told that they are unforgivable, that they are unlovable, and that God doesn't want them. We know that that is not true. We come and we share the love and hope that is only found in Jesus to this community. We were doing a Bible study on the prodigal son, and these women saw themselves in the story. They said, if the Heavenly Father could forgive this son who has done all of these terrible things, then maybe there's hope for me. One day, this woman gave her heart to Jesus and was instantly transformed. Her circumstances, they didn't change right away, but she was changed in the midst of her circumstances, and other people noticed. There were people who didn't see that particular Bible study. They came a couple days later, but they noticed a change in her. And they looked and they said, "I don't understand, like what happened?" And she said, "I gave my heart to Jesus. He has changed my life." And that day, because of the testimony of this woman, 2 or 3 other women also said, "You know what? There's hope for me too." And they came to the realization that they could come to Jesus as well. So we saw all of these people come to Jesus just in 1 week. We had been ministering to these women for almost a decade before they finally had this encounter with Jesus. The reality is, it takes a lot of time and a lot of access points to the gospel sometimes before people accept. And so we are believing that God is calling us to this community to just be another access point. Now, Jesus tells his disciples, "I will build my church and the gates of hell will not prevail against it."
Amen.
We believe him. We are taking him at his word and we are seeing him move. Will you believe with us for a revitalized church in Belgium? Because like we were showing you earlier, when you arrive at the airport, you see "Welcome to the heart of Europe." The reality is, the heart of Europe is not doing so great right now. They're ruled by fear. Fear for the future, fear for the planet. But we know who holds the future. We have this hope in Jesus that we don't have to live in fear anymore. Can you believe with us for a different future for Belgium and for Europe? Imagine what would happen if God got hold of the heart of Europe again. What would it look like if they were pumping not fear through the rest of Europe, but the gospel and hope and love through Europe once more? Thank you for believing with us. Thank you for praying with us. And thank you for allowing us to go be the hands and feet of Jesus to the people of Belgium.